In deep space 370 million kilometers from Earth, we're floating a very valuable planet. In theory, it could make everyone on Earth. They all become billionaires. Its entire structure is almost gold and platinum, in quantities that far exceed all known quantities on Earth. It could be the first grid of the era, exploiting the space of humanity, even completely change the course of human civilization. It's called 16 Seiki. According to estimates by scientists, the total value of the planet is $10 trillion. It's more than all the wealth that humanity has ever created. Added up, in other words, if you could actually bring it back to Earth, gold on Earth will become as much as sand. This is not illusory. It's a real object. Now we're going to go to its location. 16 Psyche. It's in the middle of the Sao asteroid belt, Mars and Jupiter. It's about 370 million kilometers from Earth. Maybe when you get there, there's not only gold asteroids, but platinum asteroids. Diamonds. This area is like a planetary supermarket in space. It displays countless objects of all sizes. Diameter of asteroid 16 Seiki about 200 kilometers. It's an M-type asteroid. In other words, it's not a normal celestial body. It's the metal core of a planet. The scientists discovered through spectral analysis its metal content up to 95%. It's covered in rare metals like gold, nickel, platinum, iron. There's hundreds of millions of times more gold compared to the determined amount of the Earth. If this gold is actually brought back to Earth, until then, we can actually be like in the movies, using gold to build a house, floor tiles for automobile manufacturing. Gold used to be a symbol of wealth, could become a cheap material like sand. The scientists speculate 16 Seiki may have originally been a larger celestial body. Experienced a violent V impact at the beginning of the solar system. The crust and the outer mantle have been completely destroyed. Only the hard metal core remains. This is very similar to the VA case, the early period of the Earth. That's when a Mars-sized planet crashed into Earth, ejected a large amount of material from the Together they formed the Moon. So 16 Seiki can be considered a remnant. The planet has lost its outer shell. Only the core remains. This is also the reason why it's become the focus of attention in the global space cascade. NASA plans to launch probes to 16 Seiki, departed in 2-13 and arrived in 2-19. It won't land directly. It's going to fly around collecting 10 bits of data, laying the groundwork for future space exploration. Meanwhile, scientists have discovered 2 asteroids with high metal content in the region, forbiddens of the Earth, bearing numbers 19868 and 20168. Amount of iron reserves, nickel and cobalt of one of them, even beyond the Earth. What this means is, when the Earth's resources are running out, humanity's vision is no longer limited to the Earth. That's gradually moving minds into space. To compete with America's plans, China has also developed major projects in Inner Mongolia. They've built a smart open-pit mine, the first 5 hours in the world. Not all trucks. The driver works day and night without rest. Efficiency increased by 120%. Stable operation even at -40 degrees Celsius. All devices are 100% localized, even though this is just mining technology on Earth. But it's also the basis for doing the mining out of space, where people can't work directly, bringing in greater resources for the development of humanity in the future. About 16 Seiki, it's not just that it's worth trillions. At first glance, the dollar seems to have something to do with the economy. But what scientists are really interested in, it's actually something else. It could be the door to the future, the space industry. The Seiki probe was launched in February 13th. It's just the beginning. The goal is to reach 16 Seiki at a close enough distance to scan basic information about this asteroid, and then the ability to exploit the resource. Even if the planet actually has gold, it can't be transported all the way back to Earth. Not to mention other things. Slice shipping alone is enough to make a giant knife. More important than if that's a lot of gold to bring back. Countries or units that own gold let this happen. So the idea is more practical than spot processing. Turn these metals into building materials for space right in space. Used to build a solar power plant, space plant. Even the space city of the second future. The difficulty of mining is also greater than 16 Seiki has no atmosphere. The gravity is very small. People who walk a few steps up there can be swept away. These are all technical problems that we've solved. It's not that simple legally. Minerals on Earth owned by countries, but the universe's resources are still gray. Countries that have signed the space treaty. I can't claim this planet as mine. The United States and some other countries have passed laws. Whoever exploits it belongs to that person. In other words, the exploitation space in the future could be a race. Who won first? That person is talented. 16 Seiki is probably not a gold mine. Make people rich overnight. It's the starting point for humanity to enter any space exploitation. Once this door is opened, how we exploit the universe might be the same way a steam engine, changing human history, and can't go back.